Hello grade ones. Today we're going to take a look at how to use bond houses to practice your bonds. So let's take a closer look at a house that has been completed. This house is bonds of 4. The first thing I want you to notice is the number in the roof. The number in the roof will tell you what number you are working with and which calculations you'll need to do. All the dots that you need will fall in a floor. As you can see, each floor has 2 rooms. These rooms form the parts of the whole. That means whatever is on this floor can have no more or less dots than what you are working with in the roof. Please make sure that you remember this. You cannot have 5 dots on this floor if you're working with number 4. If you take a look at the next floor and add up all the dots, you'll see that it also equals 4, and so on. All the plus sums will be found on the left of your house, and all of the minus sums will be found on the right of your house. There are lots of patterns that you'll need to keep an eye out for, because those patterns will help you to make sure that you have built your house correctly. The first pattern I want you to look at is the number of dots in a room will match the number that you'll write down for your sum. Take a look at the first one. In this floor, you will see that there are no dots. The number that you need to start your plus sum with will be exactly the same. The number that you're going to write down next will match the room that is directly next door. A 4 and a 4. Let's see if this pattern can be found in the next sum. Absolutely. Here is 1 dot in this room, and it matches with the number that you've written first. In the second room, the number will be 3, and the number you have written for your sum should also be 3. This pattern will continue throughout and all the way down to the bottom of your house. The minus sums will all be reversed. Let's take a closer look at another pattern. Every sum starts with a number that's growing: 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. The following numbers will be backwards: 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. The same pattern can be found with the dots, which you start with: 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, backwards: 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. The next pattern I'd like you to notice is that the number you are working with will always be the answer to your plus sums, always. And it will be the start of all of your minus sums. This is very important to notice, because if you swap any of these numbers around, your minus sums won't make sense. The last little pattern I want you to see is the direction in which each sum goes. For your plus sums, you'll start in the rooms. You'll start with the left room, add the right room, and your answer will land in the roof. Let's see if this is the same as we go down. Take this sum for example. We start in the left room, we add the right room, and our answer is the roof. So the pattern goes across and up. For our minus sums, it's a little bit different. Remember, they are backwards. You start in the roof. Remember, all the minus sums must start with the number you're working with in the roof. So they start in the roof, they go down to the room on the right, and then the answer will be the room on the left. Take a look. The number that we're working with in the roof is our start, 4, minus the room on the right, and our answer is the room on the left. Take a look at a little bit further down. We start with the room in the roof, the roof. We minus the room on the right, and our answer is the room on the left. Now it's time for the story behind our Bond house. Once upon a time, there was a little house. Inside this little house were little children fast asleep. There were 4 children in the roof having a good night's rest. One night, they heard something very interesting. They got all excited because they knew that there was music. They decided to go and explore. Where was this music coming from? So, they went to the room just below. Nothing was going on there, but the music continued. So they went across the hall to the very next room, and oh boy were they excited. The party was starting. They danced and sang and chatted to their friends all night long. In the morning, the children went back to the roof and fell fast asleep. The next night, the same happened. They woke up and heard music. This time, there was music on the very next floor below. One of the little children decided to have a look in the first room. Oh goodness, he enjoyed his time there. The other 3 decided to go and look further and went next door. And they all had a fabulous party all night long. This continued into the next night. Except now 2 of the children stayed in the first room, while the others went across. Remember, there are no more or less children in this house. They didn't find any new friends, and they didn't lose any friends either. Just the 4 of them stayed best friends, having fun throughout the night. In the morning, they'd go back up to the roof and go to sleep. The next night, 3 of the children decided to party in the first room, while only 1 went across to the other room. By the time the last night came, all of the children had a great time in the very first room. Unfortunately, Mr. Plus decided to call the fairy godmother. He was worried that some of the children might have gotten lost. The fairy godmother said, "No problem, I will fly through all the rooms and add the children together." So she went. She gathered the children. She looked in the first room and saw, there was nothing happening there. So she put a 0 down in the sum. She remembered that she was helping Mr. Plus, and she wrote a plus down next. As she flew across, she found 4 children in the room, and her answer landed on the 4. She went down to the next floor and made sure that the sum was the same. She found the child in the first room. Mr. Plus was in the middle of her sum. She then added the 3 children, and when she counted them all together, she found that she was still working with number 4. This continued right to the bottom ground floor, and she made sure that by the time she was there, 4 children were written down first, and no children were found in the second room, only to land with the answer of number 4. Mr. Plus was so happy that all the sums were worked out correctly and said thank you to Fairy Godmother. Mr. Minus was feeling a little left out, so he asked Fairy Godmother to come and help him too. He reminded her that his sums work the opposite way and that Fairy Godmother had to start in the roof. So Fairy Godmother flew along and started all the sums in the roof. She remembered that Mr. Miner said she had to work backwards, so she started with the roof, then put Mr. Minus in the middle. She minused the room on the right, and her answer landed in the room on the left. She checked every single room as she went down the floors of her house. Mr. Minus reminded her to work backwards, starting in the roof, minusing the room on the right, and your answer is the room on the left. Oh, Fairy Godmother was so relieved that her house and the plus and minus were very happy. The children were all accounted for and they could party in every single room. How can you practice your bonds in houses at home? Well, very easy. Remember, whichever number you want to do, whichever house you want to build, make sure you have something to use as the little children. You can use beans or counters, whatever you want. The next thing you'll need is a piece of paper on which you're going to draw your little house. Remember to write the number that you're going to work with in the very top of your house. Now it's time to start letting the children go into all the rooms to have the party. In the first room, keep in mind there are no children that go and have a party. They want to stick together, so they go to the very next room. As you go down, remember the pattern that we spoke about at the beginning. The pattern will go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's see if the children remembered that. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You can just use dots if you're drawing it on a whiteboard or on your piece of paper. Now remember, on the right you need to go backwards. So we start our house with a 5. What do you think will be next? If you said 4, I think you're correct. And then 3, 2, 1 and 0. You are amazing. Let's put our children in place. There they all are. Remember the last one? There are no children in there. Now, grade ones, you're going to work on your sums together. Go and get your special fairy godmother to help you along. On the left, remember you'll write all your plus sums, and on the right, you will put in all of your minus sums. Check that every single one of your houses is built in the same way, and you won't go wrong. Have fun with your houses, grade ones. See how big you can go. Remember, this term we are working with numbers that are bigger than 10, so keep practicing and keep trying. And above all, remember to have lots of fun. Thank you.